So we are continuing our reading from Caitanya Caritamrita. Today we are reading the preface. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jai Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Here, I think we are here. The 8 principles of Sankhya Yoga, observing the regulative principles, following the rules, practicing the various sitting postures, performing the breathing exercises, withdrawing one's senses from the sense objects, etc., are meant for those who are too much engrossed in the bodily conception of life. Now, what is actually yoga? Yoga is not what we know it as nowadays, some breathing exercise, pranayam, we say is yoga, or we do some stretching exercises. You know, the yoga has become so famous now, and everybody says, okay, that's yoga. No, yoga means actually to link ourselves with Krishna. And then, or many people do meditation, but then what is the proper way to do meditation? That's the whole yoga process. And there are 8 principles. One is we have to observe the regulative principles. There is the yam and the niyam. There are certain rules we have to follow, certain rules we don't have to follow. And all the meditation is not done in our homes. It's supposed to be gone to the forest in a lonely place to do it, and have to find a proper seat. The asana is very important, neither too high, not too low. It should be sanctified. Put kusha grass on it, cover it with deer skin, sit in a proper manner, and then have to do the breathing exercise where the life airs. The yogi knows how to lift up the life airs in a certain direction, and then all the senses are supposed to be withdrawn from the sense objects. And all this, so, and this yoga system, when Krishna told Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita, okay, you can do yoga, Arjuna, 5,000 years ago, where things were not so crazy as they are now. You know, the society was not running at such a fast pace as it is now. At that time, Arjuna told him, it's impossible for me to do yoga. I cannot control my mind. The mind is so turbulent, more turbulent than the wind. And so that's the reason Krishna told him, you engage in bhakti yoga. Yeah? So the yoga process, what is in very popular nowadays, it is just some breathing exercises that people are doing. It's not the real yoga. The real yoga is very, very difficult to do in Kali Yuga. The intelligent man situated in Krishna consciousness does not try to forcibly stop his senses from acting. Rather, he engages his senses in the service of Krishna. Now, in Krishna consciousness, it's not that we are told that don't see anything. No, you see, you like to see, of course, see the beautiful deity form of the Lord. See how the beautiful Shringar is done of the Lord. You know, see the devotees of the Lord. You want to eat the prasadam of the Lord. You want to work, you work and then offer the results to the Lord. So that is a practical way of controlling the senses, because artificially we cannot stop the senses from acting. The mind, if we are going to try to curb it artificially, maybe for a moment we can catch it, but again it will run away. It's very difficult. But the same mind, if we can engage it in service of the Lord, you know, take up certain service and engage it in that service, then it's easy to control the mind. We are engaging it in Krishna's service. So no one can stop a child from playing by leaving him inactive. Rather, the child can be stopped from engaging in nonsense by being engaged in superior activities. We know we can't tell the child, if the child is being naughty, running around here and there, and we want him to quiet down, if we tell him just sit down in one place, how long will he sit down for? How long? He will again get up and start creating a havoc. But if we engage the child, we give him some toy which he is really interested in, can get his attention, then he's going to stop creating the havoc. Similarly, the forceful restraint of sense activities by the 8 principles of yoga is recommended for inferior men. Superior men, being engaged in the superior activities of Krishna consciousness, naturally retire from the inferior activities of material existence. So if somebody has already taken up bhakti yoga, they don't need to again do all this niyam and breathing exercise, sitting in the asana and trying to do yoga. No. Why? Because all these principles are already included in bhakti. When we are doing bhakti, all the principles of yoga and dhyan and gyan, everything is included in bhakti. In this way, Lord Chaitanya teaches the science of Krishna consciousness. That science is absolute. Dry mental speculators try to restrain themselves from material attachment, but it is generally found that the mind is too strong to be controlled and that it drags them down to sensual activities. The mind is very, very strong. We might try to artificially control it. I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that, I'm going to try to reach the Brahman by myself, and we are trying to engage in knowledge. But the mind is so strong, it's going to get us one day or the other. Why? Because it's not having the proper engagement. The mind can be reconciled only in Krishna, because Krishna is the ultimate truth. There is nothing else for the mind to wander into, So a person in Krishna consciousness does not run this risk. One, therefore, has to engage one's mind and senses in Krishna conscious activities. And Lord Chaitanya teaches one how to do this in practice. Before accepting sannyas, the renounced order, Lord Chaitanya was known as Vishwambhar. The word Vishwambhar refers to one who maintains the entire universe and who leads all living entities. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's one of his names is Vishwambhar. Vishwambhar means the Lord of the universe. He's maintaining the entire universe. This maintainer and leader appeared as Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya to give humanity these sublime teachings. Lord Chaitanya is the ideal teacher of life's prime necessities. He's the most munificent bestower of love of Krishna. Srila Rupa Goswami calls Lord Chaitanya as Mahavadanyaya, that there is no one more munificent than Lord Chaitanya. Why? Because Lord Chaitanya is giving us love for Krishna, which is the highest and the most beneficial thing for anyone. Love for Krishna, there's nothing beyond that. We are always wanting to progress in life. We always want to get higher education, get better, get more knowledge, get more fit, be better. So like that, if we do this research, what is the best thing that we'll come to is that love for Krishna is the best. There's nothing higher than that. He's the complete reservoir of all mercies and good fortune. As confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam, the Bhagavad Gita, the Mahabharata, and the Upanishads, he is the supreme personality of Godhead, Krishna himself. And he is worshipable by everyone in this age of disagreement. So how can we know that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself? How shall we believe anybody and everybody who says, oh, this person is Krishna, or I'm Krishna, or this so-and-so is Krishna? No, this has to be mentioned in all the revealed scriptures. So that Lord Chaitanya, Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya is Krishna himself is mentioned. Sukadev Goswami is going to tell, it's going to come later. It's in Srimad Bhagavatam. Sukadev Goswami 5,000 years ago said that Lord Chaitanya will be coming. And the Bhagavad Gita in Mahabharata and the Upanishads, Lord Chaitanya is mentioned. Everyone can join in his Sankirtana movement. No previous qualification is necessary. So we don't have to be a Brahmana or on a high, and there's no qualification, nothing. Just by following his teachings, anyone can become a perfect human being. If a person is fortunate enough to be attracted by Lord Chaitanya, he is sure to be successful in his life's mission. In other words, those who are interested in attaining spiritual existence can easily be released from the clutches of Maya by the grace of Lord Chaitanya. The teachings presented in this book are non-different from the Lord. So the pastimes of the Lord are non-different. By hearing from Caitanya Caritamrita, we are associating with Lord Chaitanya. And if we really want to put an end to this material existence and make this really our last life, we should follow the teachings of Lord Chaitanya with sincerity. He's Krishna himself who's teaching us how to love Krishna. He came in the mood of a devotee to show us how to practice devotional service. The conditioned soul engrossed in the material body increases the pages of history by all kinds of material activities. The teachings of Lord Chaitanya can help the members of human society stop such unnecessary and temporary activities and be elevated to the topmost platform of spiritual activities, which begin after liberation from material bondage. So the Mayavadi, the impersonalists, the transcendentalists who want to sit in the Brahman, they say that Brahman is the last word, that Aham Brahmasmi, I am the spirit soul. But Lord Chaitanya teaches, you're a spirit soul. Now what should you do? What are the activities of the spirit soul? What are the duties of a spirit soul? And that's why it is said, which begin after liberation from material bondage. Because to be situated on the platform of the soul is a very high position. Means we are no more in the bondage of this material body. We are not conditioned to thinking we are the body. We are not conditioned by the three modes of material nature. Such liberated activities in Krishna consciousness constitute the goal of human perfection. The false prestige one acquires by attempting to dominate material nature is illusory. In human life, we have made so many goals. Oh, my goal is that I need to get this university degree, or get this job, or to get X amount of money, or to get X amount of beauty, or to get X amount of social fame, or do X amount of philanthropic activities. We have created so many goals for ourselves, but the actual goal of human life is to be situated in loving devotional service to Krishna. And so all these other goals that we create for ourselves and we think we are going to be happy, that is just an illusion. We have seen there's so many goals we must have already met. We keep, each person keeps putting so many desires and goals for our own self, and we do meet those targets. But are we transcendentally happy with those? Until unless they are connected to Krishna, only if they are connected to Krishna will we feel the bliss and happiness. Otherwise, anything of this material nature cannot give us that happiness. Why? Because material nature is dead matter. It does not have the ingredient of happiness. It just has earth, water, air, fire, ether, mind, intelligence, false ego, all the different senses, all the sense objects. But we see that ingredients in that 24 elements, there is no ingredient of happiness. Happiness is in the spiritual world, which is Sat Chit Ananda. The illuminating knowledge can be acquired by studying the teachings of Lord Chaitanya And by such knowledge, one can advance in spiritual existence. So if we study the teachings of Lord Chaitanya and follow, then we can actually be situated in our own true spiritual identity. So it is the highest knowledge. It's nothing to do with this material world. It's not going to teach us anything material. It's about the soul. Everyone has to suffer or enjoy the fruits of his activity. No one can check the laws of material nature that govern such things. Now we might think, oh no, maybe I can do something, but I won't get punished for it, or I won't get any reaction for it. Temporarily we might not, but if we see in the long run, we don't have only this body. We are going to take many, many bodies, and that reaction will come down the road in some life or the other. It has to come. It's not that, oh, in this material world, oh, I got away, I sped the red light and nobody caught me, so I'm fine. But the laws of so we can get away by the laws of the state. Sometimes we can get away, but no one can get away from the laws of material nature. They're very stringent, very stringent. Maya Devi is very attentive. We can't fool her. As long as one is engaged in fruitive activity, one is sure to be baffled in the attempt to attain the ultimate goal of life. I sincerely hope that by understanding the teachings of Lord Chaitanya presented in this book, Sri Caitanya Caritamrita, human society will experience a new light of spiritual life, which will open the field of activity for the pure soul. Om Tat Sat. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, March 4, 1968, the birthday of Lord Chaitanya, Sri Sri Radha Krishna Temple, New York. So Srila Prabhupada wrote the preface of Caitanya Caritamrita in the Radha Krishna Temple in New York in March 1968. And he is saying that by following the teachings, we will experience a new light of spiritual life, which will open the field of activity for the pure soul. So all if we follow the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, those activities are on the platform of the soul, not on the platform of the body. Devotional service is on the platform of the soul. Sure, we use the body. We use it because we are in the body right now. We use, but those activities are transcendental. Is that okay? So we can stop here for today. Nice, yeah? Yeah, Caitanya Caritamrita is like that. Lord Chaitanya is very, very merciful. So we'll continue tomorrow. Shri Caitanya Caritamrita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Honestly speaking, if we read by own this book, we feel tasteless. But the way you are explaining now, I feel it's like a sugarcane juice. Very sweet, sweet way of explanations. Otherwise, if you read the verse and you don't understand what exactly he's explaining, but you are explaining very nicely.
Absolutely agree, Chanda Didi, with you.
All the mercy of Guru Maharaj. All the credit is to Srila Gurudev. It's Guru Maharaj's. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to do this.
Thanks to your sincere efforts also.